WNBA, what are you doing?
I know growing up, I played with the boys all the time.
So
there weren't girl sports.
Would you welcome a biological male in WNBA?
You won't guess in a million years what the WNBA just did.
Sports is about belonging. It's about inclusivity. It's about allowing everyone to be their authentic self. I've been in those "you shouldn't belong here" many times. And so I'm all about women, little girls deserving to play, and that includes trans women.
You just opened up a can of we don't want to protect the integrity of women's sports. Why? Why are you trying to make women's sports exclusive to men? That's not fair. That's not protecting the integrity of women's sports. Now you got former NBA athletes or just athletes in general declaring for the WNBA draft. And no, this is serious.
Earlier this week, I made the announcement. I'm transgender. I'm a woman. I identify as sometimes identifying as a woman for purposes of basketball, professional basketball. So I'll be declaring for the WNBA draft in 2027 as well.
After careful consideration and reviewing the current eligibility guidelines, I am officially declaring myself a WNBA prospect. If simply declaring who you are is all that's required, then I meet every single requirement necessary to compete in the WNBA.
Why are transgender women trying to infiltrate women's sports? And why are politicians allowing this to happen? I said I wasn't going to talk about this topic because it's very sensitive, and a lot of people get sensitive when you talk about identity.
At the Portland Interscholastic League Championships, a trans sophomore runner for McDaniel High School finished first in both the girls' 200 meter and the 400 meter. You can see the athlete speeding by their competition here. The athlete, formerly a male, is allowed to compete under the OSAA rules as a girl.
Identifying to who you believe you are, his, her, he, she, however you identify yourself. It can be tricky because people get really sensitive about this. Your sensitivity versus disrupting somebody else's original origin. You're talking about people who were born men who decided to change their gender to women, who wants to compete with women and dominate them. Like, let me say that again. People who were born men who decided to be a woman because they identify as a woman, which is I have no problem with, want to compete with women. I have a problem with. Why not compete with men? Why not change the game and be the first woman, transgender woman, to compete with men? Why do you have to be a transgender woman to compete with women? Because we understand that men are a little bit more physically strong than women. Not all women. Men are built different than women. So yes, we're going to dominate. That's why we separate sports. That's why we separate high school sports to college sports, because of the developmental phase. That's why we separate college to NFL, because of the developmental stage. That's why you have professional athletes and you have amateur athletes. That's why you have female sports and that you have male sports. If you want to compete so bad and you're dying to compete, start your own.
The WNBA has been trying to counter Cunningham by trying to silence fans who've been showing their support and denying media credentials, by the way, as well. While Minnesota Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve last week wore a, quote, "Trans Kids Belong" shirt on the bench.
League, have a transgender league. I'm pretty sure that it will be a great place to compete against your peers versus trying to infiltrate somebody and tell them that they're wrong for not believing that you should be able to compete with them. In track and field, we have athletes that can't compete with women. They have XY chromosome, right? We call them DSD runners. We have DSD runners, difference of sex development. If their testosterone levels at a certain level in track and field, these athletes cannot compete. We had Caster Semenya who won the Olympics one year, or the World Championships. After her testosterone got to a certain level, she was not able to compete with women because they said that it would be a disadvantage to women. Even though she identified as a woman, just because her XY chromosome was a little different and she developed a little different, meaning that she carried two body parts, they said that she couldn't even compete. And we have more. Patrice Massalingi, she was another DSD runner. We have a list about 8 to 10, maybe more, prominent DSD runners that couldn't compete in the Olympics and the World Championships or in track unless they had to take testosterone suppressant that made them slower. So they couldn't even compete. So why do you believe that if Everybody got these stipulations. You got the Paralympics, male and female sports. Why do you believe that you can infiltrate a category where you know that you would dominate? But then dominate the men. Be the first woman to play with men. How about that? Show us that you can break down racial barriers and compete with the men as a woman versus being a man and deciding to be a woman and then disrupt their sport. Because it's not okay. And I don't understand why this is even an argument. This is more clear than black and white. Like, it's not even no gray in it. It's just black. No. I'm against it, and I'm against it. I am open, pro-choice, but when we start telling that males or people who identify as women can compete as a female and get paid, you're opening the door for something that you can't even control. Because a lot more people gonna say, I identify as woman just to play in women's sports to get the bag. Now what you gonna do? Oh, now you're gonna have a standard? You're gonna have an expectation? You're gonna say people can't do that? Well, don't allow it now. Shut it down. It shouldn't even be an argument. Yeah, blame Moses for this one, man.